The trans-conscious character of the pairs of opposites, they do not belong to the ego personality, but are superordinate to it. The ego personality occupies an intermediate position, like the soul placed between good and evil. The pairs of opposites constitute the phenomenology of the paradoxical self, man's, woman's totality. The intensity of the conflict is expressed in symbols like fire, water, height, depth, life, death. So our working it out with this paradoxical self in the dream symbols around death rebirth processes is so important. Oftentimes when we're going through a symbolic death, it can feel a bit like one is transiting through the underworld. The light of the ego is dimmed and you're in a very deep process that you need the ego light dimmed to be able to tune in with the deeper layers of the psyche. And the deeper layers are often shown as feminine figures. And I'd like to bring one to us now. This one is from Blake. It's an image of Hecate. So to go through the death rebirth process is a beautiful image of Hecate, isn't it, from Blake, William Blake. We can see that it's an image of the night. We've got the owl and the owls. Both the owls and also the burrow so low to the ground. And Hecate is in her threefold self here. The reason I'm showing this is that when we go through death rebirth processes, the light of the ego has to dim to tune into the realm of the mothers. It's called this in the psyche from a number of different traditions. Nietzsche brings it up. It's in Faust. Now, the Norns in the Eddas bring that out. This is the level of the feminine, the triune feminine, that lives a layer down from ego consciousness. And when we're going through death rebirth processes, it often will show a crossroad in life. And the dreams of the dying at the medical center showed crossroad after crossroad and meeting the presences at the crossroad. Now, I wanted to bring this in because last night I had a dream that we would be better off tuning into the reality of crossroads. Crossroads are times of choice. It's times of choice where the light of the ego has to dim and get its orientation to what's constellating in life. And I wanted us to tune in with our own lives and where we are at present moment in our lives, with where the choices are on board for the life we live. And what does the psyche need from each of us to live closer in the psyche to it and live with the spirit of simplicity and more deeply rooted in the psyche. So where is that speaking to us at the crossroad? With Hecate, the saying in Greek, of course, is that you approach the crossroad, you have to light a candle, you have to make an offering. Knowing what the sacrifice is at the crossroad becomes key in these death rebirth processes with ourself. So for our own change, while we're in time space, working on symbolic death and rebirth, we got to tune in. What is it the psyche would like me to let go of? What is it that's being let go of? Now, we all know there are many things we're letting go of all the time, and most analysts, myself included, would always be saying narcissism, narcissism, narcissism. It's a big piece of it, of course. Character structure, identity pieces, and old ways of being. Things that we would hold on to that wouldn't let us live as close to the soul. We can feel these come up in a death rebirth process. And as we release the forms, as these old structural forms are released, then the capacity for a connection to something greater that lives with us is much more whole comes in, much more whole comes in.